NBA fans, every day we have news about the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan and I'm counting on you to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Last season, center Jackson Hayes was heavily criticized for his poor performances in the playoffs. The Lakers surprised everyone by bringing the center back and believe in his potential for this season. One Los Angeles Lakers player is putting his ego aside and returning to the team. Veteran center Jackson Hayes has agreed to re-sign with the Lakers in free agency, ESPN's Shams Charania reported on Thursday. Hayes is getting a new one-year deal from the team, which gives him an implied no-trade clause too. The decision by the former lottery pick Hayes, 25, is a surprising one. Hayes was the Lakers' starting center for a good chunk of last season, averaging 6.8 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 0.9 blocks per game overall. But the 7-footer was wholly unplayable in certain matchups and fell out of the rotation entirely down the stretch of the Lakers' first-round playoff loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Just a few weeks ago, we heard that Hayes was unhappy with the Lakers over his reduced role and the money that it presumably cost him in free agency. The Lakers also moved in a different direction at the center position earlier this week by signing former number 1 overall pick DeAndre Ayton to a multi-year deal. But it is possible that Hayes, a fundamentally unsound defender who does not have a lot of foot speed, did not attract much interest on the free agent market. On top of the limitations in his game, Hayes comes with some baggage, including an alleged domestic violence incident and subsequent altercation with police in 2021. Now Hayes has decided to give it another go with the Lakers. He will be the primary backup center behind Ayton and may even get a chance to reclaim the starting job if Ayton's own reported character concerns become an issue once again. Jackson Hayes' return reveals Lakers' true feelings on controversial figure. The Los Angeles Lakers center is back for another season. For those hoping for a complete overhaul of the center position in Los Angeles, avert your eyes. Rob Pelinka and the Los Angeles Lakers front office clearly thought Jackson Hayes showcased more than enough in the 2024-25 season to warrant a return to Hollywood. Shams Charania announced, free agent center Jackson Hayes has agreed on a one-year deal to return to the Los Angeles Lakers, sources tell ESPN. Hayes' agents, Bill Duffy and Marlon Harrison of WME Basketball, finalized a contract with Lakers president Rob Pelinka on Thursday. To clarify, this isn't something specifically given to Hayes. It happens with every one-year deal for a player getting 3 years or more seasons consecutively with any team because they acquire bird right at that point and those would be lost with a trade. So the player has a chance. Hayes' return to Los Angeles is surprising for many. The Lakers center flamed out towards the end of last season, losing his spot in the starting lineup during the 2025 NBA playoffs as J.J. Redick's trust in Hayes appeared to quickly fade. Pelinka's feelings on the matter look to be in a different position after this move. With the Lakers center rotation in need of a massive makeover, the decision to bring Hayes back signals a continued belief in the athletic center being a part of the solution in Los Angeles. Hayes' uneven 2024-25 campaign will leave many questioning free agency decision. Hayes' 2024-25 season was an absolute roller coaster. The ineffectiveness of the backup big man initially had Anthony Davis publicly pleading for reinforcements down low with the media. Then, the blockbuster trade to land Luka Doncic happened. After the Mark Williams shenanigans left the Lakers with no better option than Hayes in the frontcourt, a new level of responsibility was thrust onto the high-flying backup. Following Doncic's debut, Hayes averaged 8.1 points, 5.3 rebounds, 0.9 blocks, and 0.6 steals during 21.4 minutes per game for 27 games as a member of the starting lineup. The Lakers center shot 75.6% from the field in those games. Switchable small ball lineups became the most consistent pathway to success for Redick. However, Hayes offered a surprisingly pleasant option down low until his previously described meltdown in the first round against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Despite a clear need for rim protection against a large Timberwolves group, Hayes could not serve as the deterrent at the basket that was necessary due to his foul troubles. The stopgap starter averaged 9.3 fouls per 36 minutes. The offensive chemistry with Doncic clearly offered enough reason to allow Hayes another opportunity with the Lakers. However, the hope here would be that another big man arrives in Los Angeles to firmly push him to the third spot on the depth chart for the center position. Biggest winner of DeAndre Ayton signing gifted shot at lucrative Lakers future. Rui Hachimura can extinguish every trade rumor if he proves to be the ideal DeAndre Ayton complement. When the Los Angeles Lakers signed DeAndre Ayton, trust was placed in the developmental team assembled by J.J. Redick and the leadership of Luka Doncic. Ayton is a remarkable talent who went number 1 overall in the 2018 NBA draft, but consistency hasn't been an ally up to this stage of his career. For as inevitable as that burden may be on Doncic and Redick, there's another player who could help define Ayton's tenure and thus secure their own future, Rui Hachimura. Ayton is on pace to be the Lakers' starting center and, whether fair or foul, their lone source of traditional contributions at the position. Much could change between now and the end of free agency, but a thin depth chart at the 5 spot has put immeasurable pressure on his shoulders. Thankfully, the flashes of brilliance are impossible to ignore, even if the bouts of inconsistency have overshadowed what Ayton's capable of. Rewind the time to 2021, distant as it may seem, and the Phoenix Suns unlocked the perfect formula. They reached the NBA Finals with Ayton at center by building around Devin Booker and Chris Paul, of course, but they also complemented the big man with modern fours who could optimize his value. Hachimura is by no means a carbon copy of the players Ayton was teammates with in Phoenix, but he has every tool to replicate the formula and take a step forward as a modern four. Rui Hachimura can earn new deal by thriving alongside DeAndre Ayton. When the Suns reached the 2021 NBA Finals, Ayton played 90% of his minutes at center. The two players who most commonly featured alongside him at power forward were Jay Crowder and Cameron Johnson. Hachimura is, in many respects, a hybrid of the play styles that made and make Crowder and Johnson who they are, and could thus bridge the gap as the perfect Ayton complement. Hachimura isn't quite as well-rounded as Crowder, but he has a similarly powerful frame that he can use to great effect on both ends of the floor. He also isn't as productive of a shooter as Johnson, but his efficiency is certifiably elite, and an increase in volume is already underway. In the event that Hachimura continues his ascension, the Lakers could have a modern interior duo of the future they can confidently invest in to complement Doncic. It's worth noting that Hachimura is coming off of what may have been the best season of his NBA career thus far. He posted averages of 13.1 points, 5.0 rebounds, 1.3 offensive boards, 1.4 assists, 0.8 steals, and 1.7 three-point field goals made while shooting at a clip of .509/.413/.770. What if Lakers Rob Pelinka knows what he's doing? By Mirjam Swanson, the Orange County Register. The Tribune content agency updated July 4, 2025, 9:59 a.m. With all due respect, I'm glad none of you out there in NBA fandom is in possession of the keys to the kingdom. Truly, I'm relieved that you impatient keyboard GMs are operating from wherever you call for shots to be called bed, basement, front porch. It's better than in somebody's front office. Especially the Lakers. Because I see how you guys would shop, and it gives Black Friday vibes. Black Friday back before you did so much shopping online, back when you'd camp out for hours and rush the store at midnight and fight off fellow customers just to get in on the deal that would fill a need in your life. The same energy you used to bring for that big TV, you're bringing for that big man in the post. Even now, in this tempered version of NBA free agency, it's still like first day of Christmas shopping in July. And when all of you too eager, would-be shoppers spotted the guy who's worked at the store for years standing to the side empty-handed at 12:02 a.m., you couldn't help yourselves. What are you doing? Move. Buy something. Put it on credit. Who cares about the interest? Who cares how you're going to pay it off? Don't kick the can down the road, that's so lame. You need it now. You needed it 2 minutes ago. Oh my gosh, are you a fool? Not to go all public defender, but the guy just standing there, Rob Pelinka, the Lakers general manager and president of basketball operations, he would have reassured you, it's all good, man. I've got a buddy who stashed my order in the back. And then he would have walked out with the big, coveted item he needed to keep up with teams next door, who are still wondering, by the way, how the heck he got his hands on Luka Doncic when no one was looking last February. And Pelinka walked out having scored a steeper discount than you knew was even available. Lucky guy, right? Just a happy coincidence that center DeAndre Ayton became available as the Lakers were finding themselves with a $14 million non-taxpayer mid-level exception to spend, eh? Sure, if you believe everything you read on the internet, where you all told each other Pelinka had committed a fireable offense by just standing there and letting 32-year-old wing Dorian Finney-Smith walk away for nothing when he found another team in Houston to give him a 4-year, $53 million deal. Good for Doe, though. Seems like maybe the guy wasn't just standing there. Seems he was waiting for his buddy to emerge from the back with his prize, a previously unadvertised and heavily discounted 26-year-old starting center, who happens to share an agent with Doncic. Losing Finney-Smith but bringing aboard Ayton and 23-year-old wing Jake LaRavia feels a little like the math that Clippers guard Norman Powell did last season after his team let Paul George walk for nothing, but not for nothing. The way Powell saw it before his team made the playoffs as the 5th seed in the Western Conference and George's Philadelphia 76ers got shut out in the East, the Clippers were doing addition by subtraction. Except in the Lakers' case, it isn't a matter of bigger roles for hungrier players, it's literally 2 players for the price of one real Black Friday stuff. They'll have Ayton on a 2-year, $16.6 million deal, so $8.2 million this season before next season's player option. That's an incredible bargain for the 7-foot, former number 1 overall pick, who was bought out by Portland. The Trailblazers now will pay him about $25 million this year to play for the Lakers, who also picked up the sharpshooter LaRavia with the other portion of their mid-level exception. And although Pelinka drove you up the wall just standing there for the first 2 days of free agency, he's standing here now still relatively asset-rich. Whether it's a first-round draft pick in 2031 or 2032, or pick swaps, or second-year wing Dalton Connect with all his upside. Whether it's Rui Hachimura on his $18.3 million deal or guys like Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, and Jordan Goodwin on their expiring contracts. Whatever the asking price, Pelinka won't be haggling from a place of desperation, with the whole world fantasy GMs included knowing he absolutely had to have a center. The Lakers needed a center so badly you were ready to shoehorn in should-be backups like Brook Lopez and Clint Capella because, from your spot in line outside the store, that's who it looked like the Lakers could get. And now that they've gotten Ayton on a great deal, you'd like to let the manager know that you have your reservations. The NBA has a charming habit of slinging mud at players on their way out. Fair or not, never-named sources will frame former employees as out of shape or vampiristic, seemingly whatever they think will help keep fans on their side after a breakup. So you read an article about why the Blazers were down to part with Ayton, whose alleged crimes include that he can be carefree and loud, often blurting out songs or offhand comments in the locker room. Go ahead, call over the security guard. But before you do that, consider, the Bahamian has also averaged a double-double every season of his career, with averages of 16.4 points, 59% shooting, and 10.5 rebounds. That's right, the Lakers got a guy who actually can grab a board. Who's a lob threat and a mid-range threat? Who has this next season to prove he's worth another lucrative contract? Yeah, I know what you're thinking. What is Pelinka doing? As in, what is he doing now? The Ayton news is so 2 news cycles ago and the Lakers have work to do. They've got holes to fill defensively if they're going to appease LeBron and impress Luka and turn a team featuring those 2 top 15 players into the contender it could be, should be. So why is that guy just standing there?